Yo, what's good, everyone? Happy Friday to you. Hope you're all doing well out there, staying inspired. Cooked up some weird soup for you this morning. I have no idea what this is, but it feels good in the ears. Hey, Andremia's got something for us. Is this going to be a further exploration of the calibration? Or you got something new? Jay, I love hip-hop. Hip-hop is life. Well, I mean, so is jazz, and so is noise. But mostly, hip-hop is life. For real. Hi, Pafaria. Welcome in, homie. Happy Friday to you. It's Feedback Friday, you guys. You've basically made it through another week. So congratulations on that. Really looking forward to seeing what you guys got up to over the last few days. Due West song. Yes. You gotta pick one and roll with it, right? Ben is here. 10th. How you doing, homie? Happy Friday to you. Saf and I had a lesson yesterday, so that conversation is kind of spilling over into the chat today. Saying I was listening to some hallucinogen. They try to use the drum machine they already have, which is their drums or their sample packs, whatever. Doing all right, Ben. Doing all right. Yeah, Saf, I find that, you know, I mean, there are standards, just like there are in any subgenre. But I find that, in particular, psytrance tends to be pretty all over the place with the kick and stuff. I mean, as you were seeing yesterday, all the different patterns, right, as you kind of ebb and flow through the different subgenres and offshoots. Yeah. Sometimes you hear almost a soft kick in there, and other times you hear this incredibly hard, clicky kick. And just whatever floats your boat, really, honestly. I think we were using like a tech house or a deep tech kick yesterday, technically speaking, probably. If that's even a thing. For those keeping track and wanting to make the same kind of madness at home, ambience is being generated by grain cloud. This is a really nice piece of kit. This is Richard Devine and Antonio Blanco, those guys. And I've just swapped out all the sounds in the sound banks for my own sounds. So there's some movie dialogue, some NASA dialogues, little ASMR crispy toppers, some ambient glitch effects stuff in there. What else we got in here? We got a beat. We got a beat. Just made something basic inside of XO and then ran it through Shaperbox and a little delay action and some granular stretching, saturate. And then we got Screewell. Screewell's holding down the low end down here, giving us this thing. It's really simple, mostly sinoidal noise and roughed up with some phase distortion, fuzzy. And that's how you ended up with this pot of goodness this morning. Interesting for sure. Yeah, it's a mess. It's something, some sort of experimental thing, but it's what I do every morning. Quick little sound sprint. All right, let's kill this madness and get into goods. and then it's just all simple. All right, so where am I going here? Discord. Get a little notepad up. You guys don't need those. All right, here. Before we dig in, um, the post in the public lounge about the Epic Games moving Bandcamp. Poor Bandcamp, man. It's getting moved around. Um, yeah, there's been a huge uptick in folks asking if they can list sounds or if uh, we can help market sounds or if we can launch um, some sort of dedicated label. And for many years, I've been pretty resistant to it, like to bring it into the OhmLab, under the OhmLab umbrella. I've never even listed the Sound Freak stuff on the OhmLab site over the years or any of the other um, artist names, alt labels, stuff that I've had. But um, there is definitely like another massive shift happening. And like when Napster and stuff was happening, um, I launched OhmLab as kind of like a response, try and like help educate, right, lift people up, let them be much more independent because it just wasn't that way prior to that. We got ADSR up off the ground, so independent sounds could get out there, and that changed the landscape, right? Splice and stuff came along. Um, and then, the Spotify explosion happened, um, and kind of shifted gears again, like leaned more into the education side of things, right? And kind of helping people get informed about, you know, licensing and rights and how to keep your stuff yours and actually survive. And continued to build other tools and networks and stuff along the way. And now I feel like we're kind of yet again at another crossroads in the industry, and there's a lot of people that are having a really hard time. And after all of these people reaching out and stuff, I feel kind of obligated, right, to um, do something about this, right? We have a platform, we have a really great community. As much as I've ignored the larger part of the user base and community on socials over the past several years, because I've just found them to be so toxic. Um, I've been kicking around the idea of allowing other artists to list products in a marketplace, but this time under the OhmLab name. And I'm kind of wondering what y'all are thinking about that. I know after we built ADSR, um, there was a big outcry for it. And then after we made the producer network, there was a big outcry for it. And then when the marketplaces started closing their doors to new artists because of saturation, um, there was a big outcry for it, and now there is again. And so I have some questions for you guys, just before we get into all of the awesome tunes and stuff today. If this was to take place, if we were to do this, um, I think I'd like it to be a more holistic um, kind of resource for producers, musicians alike. And I think that would need to include not just sounds, but learning resources and tools for making content as well. Um, and I'm just kind of wondering what everyone's thoughts are in regards to um, keeping everything entirely independent, and how much community oversight perhaps there should be, and the type of stuff that's going in, and how we're selecting what is let in. I feel like it's something that I've never wanted to align with the OhmLab brand, just simply because of the fact that, I've trained thousands of people, and you can't really let thousands of people um, run amok, if you will, in a marketplace without a whole lot of boundaries in place. Um, and there's the bigger question of, like, is that even healthy for a marketplace, for having that many folks in there? So I just kind of want to get this conversation started and talk about it with y'all over the next month or so. Maybe at the top and bottom of each stream or something, we can kind of check in about it. But I know there's a lot of people been asking for a long time, if they could sell their stuff. So interested to hear what kind of feedback. Let's see what you guys cooked up this week, and if you've got comments about that kind of stuff, you just leave it in the chat here, and I'll try and keep an eye on comments as they come in about it. Ben's down. He wants some. Eisen Leonard, no, not from Germany. I'm actually from Portland. Running amok. All right, let's see who's dropped what today. Looks like we're starting off with Che. West Coast Swing. Let's do this.
Eastside nigga with a West Coast swing. Same old nigga with the same old gang. Still screaming 812 to the top of the roof. Man, I promise not a damn thing changed. Not a damn thing changed. Not a damn thing changed.
Man.
Not a damn thing changed. 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 Eastside nigga with a West Coast swing. Same old nigga with the same old gang. Still screaming 812 to the top of the roof. Man, I promise not a damn thing changed. 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 Running with the squad I came with like a pickup gang. Give a bitch the death stroke, now she wanna call me Slade. And Indy with niggas wear ice on the teeth like the Cobra Vinci. But I don't envy those that get it on their own. In my town, thugging with my rounds. She said I coach pink, I said I know, I just left your house. Hung up the phone before I question where she at now. Hoes come and go, but they always come around to the bartender another round. It's my last call for the alcohol on Kanye shit. Never complacent with being stationed, so I left the bar in my basement. The priest of the congregation, the stage is back. I'm half man, have amazing on the flows and the wine, get you drunk off them. They didn't wanna see me switch gears to the clutch on him. Reminisce, because he used to ride around with the shit on his hip. When he switched sides, I can see the stick shift. Heart of gold, I identify as mythic. I am the light, so why these rappers look apocalyptic? They should be buying a vinyl to play this such a cousin recital. Or a Keats and Europe. Fuck your top 10, I'll be there at 11. With a Corona and a heartfelt message. Same nigga, just a whole new section. Eastside nigga with a West Coast swing. Same old nigga with the same old gang. Still screaming 812 to the top of the roof. Man, I promise not a damn thing changed. 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 Eastside nigga with a West Coast swing. Same old nigga with the same old gang. Still screaming 812 to the top of the roof. Man, I promise not a damn thing changed. 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 Not a damn thing changed.
Hey now. Hey now. Dude, this is great. This is great. I mean, instant vibes right out the gate. Super tasty textures, like really good stopping points with all of your volume mixing. Love the filters. Your effects processing is being applied. Gosh, how it should be. Like, there are really well timed delay tails used as accents. It's just, it's lovely, man. I think the backing vocal can be up a touch in spots just to increase the emotional impact of certain lines. And I also think that there could be just a little bit more separation, just a little bit more depth and distance between the main and backing vocal. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed if the main vocal also came up like 1 or 2 dB full mix, just to keep it much more forward. This is really, really tastefully done. All of it is so freaking in the pocket, man. It's good. It's good. I want to hear more. I want to hear more. And all these little touches, all these little embellishments that aren't overused, right? The little 808 cowbell, the little breaths perfectly timed. Some good stuff, man. And then the change up there toward the end, just, yeah. There's a bit of some homage stuff there, but like really originally arranged and devised, man. That's good. I want to hear more. Right? Can't you just imagine, like, picking up an Andremia pack and yeah, just seeing what other people would do with some of that. But I also think that, you know, we've been talking a long time about the quality of music that's constantly coming through the community and how many people are struggling to find opportunities, like real money-making opportunities, with their music, and that's got to be addressed as well. So I don't know. I think we should get the dialogue going and talk about it for a month and see what bubbles up. I don't really want to get all tangled up in all sorts of distribution stuff, but yeah, it's a hell of a community, and there's so many people right now that are having a hard time making money with it. So I wanna help change that. Hypotheria, we're up. My time will come.
Oh, I'll be fine. Oh, I'll be fine. Been waiting for my moment, just sitting, wishing, hoping that my time will come and I'll make it out. But tonight, no one can tell me that it's over for me now. I'll decide what, when, and how to live my life. I'm alive, that is all really matters to me here. I'm the captain and I'll steer. I'll be fine. Oh, I'll be fine.
I've cried alone in the darkness and let my tears fall like rain. I've faced my fears and confronted the unknown. I've silenced my thoughts and felt peace and stillness. I have been one with my pain.
But tonight, no one can tell me that it's over for me now. I'll decide what, when, and how to live my life. I'm alive, that is all really matters to me here. I'm the captain and I'll steer. I'll be fine. Oh, I'll be fine. Oh, I'll be fine. I'm alive. Oh, I'll be fine.
All right, cool. Let's roll through this. It's a solid track, really good arrangement, pretty darn good palette you're working with. We need to bring the lufts down. The loudness is causing some issues. The lufts are too high, so it's going to get turned down. And the other is that the volume mix is a little bit off. The super saws, which are a dominant sound, a dominant force in any track, they're too loud, and you can hear that they're peaking above everything else, and it's causing this compression to kind of clamp down on the rest of the track. So it's bringing down these background elements or these kind of supporting role players to a level where it feels a little bit out of sorts. So if you back off the loudness, and you bring down the level of the super saws by, let's say, like 5 dB or so in the mix, and start to listen through this again, a little bit less of a contained mix, then I feel like you're going to feel a little bit more emotional swelling, and it's going to show you where you need to put more volume automation in. So where you have these biggest peaks at the most energetic transition points, keep those peaks where they are, basically. And then try and find ways to carve these very small dips in this waveform more down into valleys, like peaks and valleys, instead of peaks and then another peak and another peak and another peak. You know what I mean? And then that way you're going to feel a lot more emotional impact each time you have one kind of change in the mix, right? Whether it's an instrument taking the lead, or whether it's a drop, or what have you. Also, wanting a little bit more glue on the individual elements. So, and what I mean by that is that you've got the right sounds in the mix, but they're not all being treated to the point of becoming something that is both unique and aligned with the other things in the mix, right? You've got the right players in there, but they need to have a little bit more time spent on the processing, I think, right? So all of the individual elements feel aligned. And then with all of that less loudness, with the less limiting taking place, I think you're going to hear a lot more of the individual kind of life force of all the sounds in the music, and that's gonna feel better because it's pretty good energy, and it's good. You know, it's got that good hype energy. Um, just want the interest in the individual sounds because that's where like the real dance energy comes from. You know? Vocals, they feel a little bit stiff at times, like they're right on the grid, and maybe if you shift them offset them timing wise just a little bit here and there. Use a little bit more volume change to accent specific words or moments. And then use your time-based effects like delay and reverb a little bit more freely. So you can increase the atmosphere around the vocals and help them kind of fit in this kind of uplifted, hype energy space that you've created. And then lastly, the bass itself seems a little bit plain to be that present in the mix the whole time. If you're going to keep it in that kind of a character profile, I'd bring it down in the mix by a few dB so it kind of gets tucked back in and plays that support role. If it's going to be at that level, I feel like it's got to have a little more character to kind of earn that position. Let's see. Everybody else is saying in the chat here. Yeah, Andromia says, coming in hot, gone after August. Welcome in, by the way. Says, love the arrangement. F-Head, welcome in. Chakra, D&B. How you doing, man? Elf, welcome in. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Yep, everybody has the same feedback on this one. A little loud. Good track. A little loud. Nano says, I got my hair cut the other day and lost like 5 pounds. Hypoferia, I hope this is all making sense. You're saying, yeah, we'll take care of this, but some problem I have at the moment is the sound in FL is quieter and sounds okay to me, but when I render it out, the mix got messed up. Oh, you might have some sort of normalization feature on. If there's go through the bounce dialogue in FL and see if there's anything that mentions loudness or normalization in there at all. And if there is, untick that. You don't want any additional gain added to stuff. Andromia. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Nano with a fresh new haircut. Floating away. Oh, man, that's awesome. That's great. Yeah, in FL, it never reached neg 14 LUFS, but it's rendered, it goes over 10. Yeah, that's big. And neg 14 is definitely the max loudness I would push this. You bet. Glad it all makes sense to you. On to the next Andromia. Have here something new. Spooktember. Or Spooktober. What is the source sound of this one? Is it a pumpkin? Let's see. For those of you unfamiliar with Andromia, this artist takes a sound and then takes just a sliver of that sound and starts making all of the different instruments and elements that you hear in the mix. So the entire song is just one sound. Reimagined many ways. Smashing Pumpkins next year. It's only a little iron. Oh, you guys. I agree with Ben 100%. I've been saying it for a really long time. Just to steer the conversation back to the potential marketplace or whatever it ends up being. We all agree that if the right people heard Andremia's stuff, it would be used all over. A really good example. Yeah, so it can't just be like a sound pack shop. You know what I mean? All right, Andremia, this is what I got for you. I really dig the pace. Very nice. The kick is just a touch flat feeling. I really like the heartbeat appeal that it has in the mix right now. I just want a little bit more of a life force around it. So if there was a very small reverb bubble kind of put around it, very subtle, no big slap back or anything, and then you saturate that, both a minimal process, minimal change, I think it would feel a bit more like a pulse in the mix. And then the other thing is, if you were to, I'm not sure if there's velocity change between those two notes, but if there was a greater amount, if there is, the first kick hit being stronger, so it is a little bit more heartbeatish, I feel like it would really draw us in just a little bit more. And it's got so much of this emotional arc to it. Those howls kind of resonate the same way that feedback swells do. You know what I mean? So the ways in which you made it move and contained it, I think, is brilliant. There were a couple of times where I wish there was actually a big reverb swell on that bass as the whole thing is happening, and it just like overwhelms the entire mix. I wish there were a couple of spots like that, or maybe just one. But really, love all your stopping points there. Man, and the pitch bends, you're allowing yourself to play with the delivery of sound and like the stability of sound in a way that you were not allowing yourself to, which is really cool to hear. Lots and lots of cool, like, cinematic quality tension moments in there. That's it, man. I don't really have anything else for you on this to change. I would love to hear this get a really nice master with a like a really nice, I know I say it all the time with your stuff, but a really nice like kiss from some tube saturation on the way out. I think it'd just be absolutely lovely. Yeah, Ben, he's got a really good thing. He's got a really good thing. Andremia, it's fantastic. Woozy. Woozy. Man, look at this art. Wait a minute. That's supposed to be all the way up here. There we go. All right, this one's called Guts. Woozy says, going for the classic Bro Step 5. This kind of stuff I was trying to make in... Let's do this. Lily Roo. This is you. Excellent. Elf, right? Yeah, it was a good one. That was it's in the top shelf Andremia category for me. This last one. All right, let's do this. Hey now.
You certainly got guts.
You're only wasting your time. I'm a professional.
Yeah, Uzi, this is fun. I really like the original vibe. I love the dynamic range. Really dig the transition into noise. I think the LUFs need to come down just a bit. The touch loud. This is definitely the kind of track that you want people to turn up. So leave them wanting just a little bit more on the loudness. At 129, just a little more mid-range presence on that dialogue sample, so it sits up on top of the mix a little bit more. So maybe just bump it around 1K, like maybe 2 dB in your EQ, and see what that feels like. At 2 minutes, that squelchy synth, I think it can come up just a touch, or add a subtle passive overdrive targeting 6K at 1.5 dB of drive, and then adjust volume down accordingly. It'll pop in the mix when you do that. That's it. This is good. I like this. I appreciate the originality of it, and this art, man. I can't stop staring at the art. It's really eye-grabbing. It's awesome. Elf X doll. Let's do this. Tar Blast. Yeah. Yo, okay. I really dig the subliminal siren in the intro. I'd probably let it peak just a touch higher because not everyone's going to hear it on all the systems. And you should make sure that people hear that. It's nice. I'd bring the low end cutoff of your sub up to 40 hertz. It's going to keep the rumble, but it's going to clear up the rest of your mix. 808 needs to come down just a little bit. And the ARPs, the supporting synths that you have, they need to come up, and I'd add some saturation to them to give a little edge and definition. That's on both of those ARPs. And then at 157, that groove that you slipped into for just a moment, right at the transition, that's what you should carry on there. Like that should keep going at that transition point. At that ARP that you've got in there sounds a little poppy, like almost bubblegummy compared to what it should be, because you've got like this really forceful energy there in that moment, and then you bring in this kind of swung rhythm, and then it disappears for something that's like really on the grid. I would try and keep that swung energy in there at that transition point. It was really dope, and it should stick. Indremia makes a really good point. Cool trip for ARPs. Start with just a couple of keys, and then add a new key every 4 to 8 bars, so you can change it up. Another fun thing to do with ARPs is to put in a pattern into your piano roll, and then quantize that to a key and randomize it. Randomize it in some way, whether it's the velocity or maybe the actual arrangement of notes. As long as you're staying within the key, it's a really fun way to kind of stumble into some happy accidents. Yeah, it's a really fun one. The other thing that's kind of fun to play with is automating the a change in the rate of arpeggiation, right? The rate at which the notes are being presented, just with like a little random LFO or something like that. So every once in a while you get a couple of quicker notes and get one that holds for just a second longer, just to kind of increase the variety there. Ooh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so I can definitely hear people rapping on this, and I like that. I like that. You're definitely going to want to keep the clarity in the middle of your mix for something like that. So you might need to scoop a little bit out of the mid frequencies on your 808 with an EQ, so there's room for your vocals to sit on top of all of that without much competition. Chakra DNB. We're up, sir. How are you? Let's see what we got going on over at Audio Mac. Resonance. Yeah, and Drumia's right. Drumia says this tight. Luffs, it's too hot. Resonance on the clavs, on the pad, on the hats as well in that intro bit. Profile of the track in general in the intro, I think is a little too bright and driven in the intro. So watch those highs. Really fun stuff throughout. The detuning, man. Oof. I would stagger the timing of some of those delays. In this moment, it was probably around 2 minutes or so. There were 3, 4 different instruments. They all felt like they had the same exact delay profile. So I would move away from sync on a few of those. At 230, I'd make the curve of that riser a bit more concave, right? So right here is linear, and if you make it concave, kind of up into that transition there. Really like the way that riser kind of hangs out. Multi-band compression on the grimy basses. Got a little more definition wanted on those. And just really subtle and tastefully used itty-bitty stutters on that stab bass would be really awesome. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. You are welcome, sir. I hope it all vibes with you. Got Woozy again. What do we got here? We got 1, 2, 5, 7, 9. Ooh, I see some good stuff in this. We got time. Let's do this other one from Woozy. All right, this one's called Stolen Frost. My little Omi. Ooh. Okay, Lily, Woozy, this is fantastic. Um, there's a couple of things on this. Roll up the low, the sub to 45. 12 dB per octave curve is probably around 30 right now. Just tighten it up a bit, 15 hertz, 20 hertz. You could even roll this all the way up to 55 maybe if you keep it gentle. You've got plenty of really luscious sounds in here. You're going to need to bring the sub down I don't know, 4 to 6 dB after you make that change. It's going to jump in perceived loudness when you make that change. Shave off some sub frequencies on the kick. Don't need to feel the sub bloat when the kick hits. It starts to confuse the mix a bit in spots. And I would probably wrangle some low frequencies out of a fair number of your mid-range sounds as well. Maybe allow frequencies through starting at like 120 hertz or something like that on those mid-range. Maybe bring it all the way up to like 200 on some. And what that's going to do is just allow that sub and kick and bass movement down there to really flourish and not run into other frequencies that aren't really even being heard. They're not necessary. And they just thicken up the entire middle of your mix. And you can keep the cloudy kind of profile and lose some of the lack of definition in the sounds in your mix. And I think it's going to be a really, really nice blend there. At 1 minute, that little digital lead synth needs a little saturation to stand up in the mix. Nothing gritty, just a little overdrive. Keep it minimal. Really great moment at 2 minutes. Watch the sub frequencies in reverb channels. Also, if you've got resonance on a filter and you're sweeping down, make sure that the resonance comes down when you get to those lower frequencies. You know, when it gets to like 250 or whatever, just kind of bring it back down. Yeah, this is just some really original stuff. That's what this line is about. Some tasty post whatever stuff. It's just original and unique, and I like it. And second one in a row that I've liked from you, so it's good stuff. Really good choices on display. And I think the biggest difference makers for you will be wrangling the low end. Like I said, just shaving off some low frequencies as you can. And then working the mix in bands. Right now, you've got a really good sound palette, and you've got an incredible arrangement and composition. What you don't have are the little bits of definition and sizzle in the different bands in the mix. And they don't need to be rigid bands. And by that I mean the bands that you set up with multi-band compression can actually be targeting different size frequency bands than your stereo imaging or your saturation, right? So if you really want to add a bulk of your saturation accenting on the mid-low frequencies, for instance, to really make that stuff kind of grumble and shine, you know, your second band might be a bit wider. It might start a little lower and go a little higher. Your stereo imaging might have wider bands up top, right, and more narrow bands towards those lower frequencies, so you can keep the correlation of everything proper. But I think some multi-band processing, a few different steps of multi-band processing is really what's going to unlock this one. It's going to feel much deeper, wider, and well-defined. So this is some really good stuff here. Good stuff. Yep, people in the chat like this one too. All right, Fuckhead, you're up. Wounded Healer Heroes. Okay, this is really good. I really like this piece. I think the piano's a little pushed beyond what its normal kind of loudness profile is, and so it's creating a little bit of almost uncomfortableness in the way in which it's being felt, almost like it's clipping in a couple of spots. So I would back off the loudness coming through your compression or limiter. And instead, I would use some really, really simple saturation, some overdrive. You can target around 7K. It's going to generate some nice harmonics. It's not going to make it feel like it's being pushed in any way. It's just going to kind of enhance all of it. The other thing is that you should always EQ your reverb. So if you've got your reverb being applied in series right now instead of parallel, we should change that. It feels like maybe we're getting the whole spectrum of sound in that reverb channel, and what we should do is take out those mid-low and low frequencies out of the reverb and the highs, so that way it doesn't feel like frequencies are stacking up on top of each other and the original notes kind of hang in the air the way that you would expect them to. And that's going to open this thing up. It's good stuff. On after August. I'm not even going to listen to yours now. Man. Rookies. No, I'm just kidding. Trivia. I say many words. Sometimes they make sense. Usually, I just get weird looks. Don't we all feel like that, though? Oh, man. Oh, man. Wait, Ben, let's listen to this track and then decide if the band hammer needs to come out. Because I like August. I'd hate to see him go, actually. All right, August says, I've been doing it since last time you told me, but I just learned about the magic of Decapitator, man, and have been distracted. Yeah, it's a really tasty it's a kit, right? Right? And for life. I see what you did there. Clever. All right, this one's called Talk to Me from Gone After August.
Love you. You promise.
Screaming your name, you never answered. Thought it was love, now I'm a stranger. If you came with me, then I would've sank her. I made a grief, I was crafted in anger. One lover boy, I'm a dire romancer. You made me nervous, I talk with a stammer. When you ain't with me, the world got a damper. Talk to me, can you talk to me like you miss me? Harm me, it's gonna harm me the way you kiss me. Too often you cross my mind, the memories bring misery. My coffin is space for two, so won't you come and sit with me? Against my better judgment, I let her rip me open. Her tongue tastes sweet like the cigarette she's smoking. Baby girl, I'm fucked up. Baby girl, I'm broken. Stick around for long enough and find out I'm not joking. Talk with me, come sit with me. Your scorching words burn 5th degree. I heard your stories dissing me. Guess you're rewriting history. This money don't mean shit to me. If you ain't right here by my side, I'm a bit on borrowed times. Can we just go for a ride? Go ahead, leave me empty-handed. You'll always be a part of my fantasy. I said I would find a way to manage. Sorrow integrated deep into my destiny. Screaming your name, you never answered. Thought it was love, now I'm a stranger. If you came with me, then I would've sank her. I made a grief, I was crafted in anger. One lover boy, I'm a dire romancer. You made me nervous, I talk with a stammer. When you ain't with me, the world got a damper. Talk to me, can you talk to me like you miss me? Harm me, it's gonna harm me the way you kiss me. Too often you cross my mind, the memories bring misery. My coffin is space for two, so won't you come and sit with me?
Talk to me, can you talk to me like you miss me? Harm me, it's gonna harm me the way you my mind, memories bring misery. My coffin is space for two, so won't you come and sit with me?
Yeah, this one's got some feels, man. I would extend the intro. I would give it another 6 bars or so at least, and let the kind of mood develop a little bit more, and then drop the dialogue sample like a couple few bars in instead of right away. It's a little bit abrupt, and I feel like we'd probably feel it a bit more if it was kind of slipped in. 808 needs to come down a bit, roll up the cutoff to 45 hertz, probably bring it down a little bit again. Main vocal needs to be up a couple, backing vocal needs to be a bit more dynamic and responsive to the main vocal. And by that, I mean that when the main vocal is popping, the backing vocal should be just a hair behind it. So the first thing is just nudge all of those regions over to the right, just a smidge. And then some of the words being delivered by the backing vocal track should be at different loudness levels, right? So take a little bit of time to dial in a little bit of volume automation there, and use the backing vocal track as a way to accent specific notes and in certain ways, rather than letting it kind of stay at that one consistent level. Also, the droning backing vocal, bring that down at least 5 dB, maybe 7 dB. It's good, it's solid as a supportive role player in the mix, but right now it's actually kind of demanding attention, so it needs to kind of come down. And I like the slowdown. Gets so emo at the end there. That's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yo, Nate's here. What's up, Nate? Happy Friday. Hey, I get to see you next week. That's cool. It'd be good to see you, Nate. Oh, okay. Voice samples are just broad text. Cool. Ben says thinks the slowdown is a little too slow, but that's just me. Yeah, solid track. Nat is here. Natty. Ben is here. Let's see. Ben made this week, shall we? Is Ben ever really here? Yo. Ben, Luffs. Sub control on this one. Roll the low end cutoff to 40 hertz, 12 dB per octave, and bring the sub channel down like 10 dB. The compression is messing with the volume mix. That rushing, the rushing kind of pad effects, it can come down like 7 dB. And you should finish this track. It's got a really cool, like old school appeal to it. I like it. Some old close classmates poking at each other there. Nate says, I love Ben's stuff so much. Yeah, I really like the old school kind of vocal vibe with this one, actually. I was expecting some wild serum madness. And instead we got like take it back to the 90s, man. Thanks, Nat. Too much love. Don't fluff the luff. This one is from Ray's. It's gonna end up being some kind of new "Don't be a savage" if it continues. I will coin a new Luffs phrase if I have to. All right, this one's called Deep Breakbeats. Fluffy Luffs. The next band. Yo, Ray's Ben is saying send this to him, and I would send it to him. Watch the resonance in that vocal sample. It's teetering on a pain point. Around 2K or so. It's hot. Luffs, got to bring him down. Back off the limiting. Average 15, neg 15, neg 14 luffs on this. Man, it hits. It's a really, really solid vibe. It's just loud. And the resonance in the vocal sample may not even be that big a deal when you bring the luffs down, but right now it's just too pushed. So yes, that is the first vocal to come in. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's really good, right, Ben? Right? There's some stuff happening over here. Yeah, it's just too hot. It feels like this is up at like neg 6 or something. So back way off of it. And this thing is gonna feel really nice. I'm not sure what Ben is planning, but send it to him and see what happens. Pick up a random name and throw everything in there. Oh, I love it. Yeah, this is a solid track, man. This is really good. This is the type of thing that deserves like really, really proper volume mixing throughout. Like it could benefit from a little bit of volume automation, and kind of increase the opportunities for emotional impact by literally directing what the audience is feeling just by changing the volume levels of the different elements as they work in tandem. It's really the only thing needing to be done on this, honestly, besides the loves. There's a little EQ stuff. It's good stuff. Samsung. Horns, homie. Happy Friday to you. Yeah, this is how children get made for sure. Yeah, you bet, Race. Hope that vibes with you. Helps make it even better. Simon been up to? Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Green coconut tree. Let's see what happens when we click this button. It's going to be great. Get ready for an attitude change. Here it comes.
Show you how to stunt, show you how to stunt, show you how to stunt, show you niggas how to stunt, on the show you how to stunt, show you how to stunt.
Got slave with money, can't choose which one. Might go chip something, can't choose which gun. Don't do no cuff and go when night come. No, you can't be my girl, hit charge it. Never gave a fuck about where nigga from. Chopper in the trunk with 100 in the trunk. Robbing nigga up and I'm headed to Milan. Gotta catch a flight to catch you slipping, you're a bum.
Run it up, know them niggas out with us. She got freckles, I got cookies, tell them bitches come with us. Got the house on the hilly, lean like a double cup, clean like my stubble cut.
They will never give a fuck. Got the blower in the plug, EV serving tennis like a motherfucking club. If you riding, buckle up. Nigga dying if you touch big G's, big C's. If you couldn't throw it up, niggas marked out.
Nigga pipe down, I don't fight hoes, I don't bust down, I don't like those, I like big wheels, you ain't got those. It's a fucking movie with big roles, I'll show you how to stunt, show you how to stunt, show you how to stunt, show you niggas how to stunt. On the left side, I'll show you how to stunt, on the right side, I'll show you how to stunt.
I got a jelly bean, Kelly green roll, and a guts off white like a jalapeno. Leather hot and herb, she make Nelly sing songs. Big pearls on the belt, make my belly seem swole. I'm watching Cool Bandit, looking like an extra. Different color chest pieces hanging from my neck. Stones too heavy, give me redneck Texas. I cover it with scars in the closet like my exes. B151, bitch, this ain't a Lexus. Third gear got me driving like I got a death wish. Small Italian town, hitting Willis on the Vespa. Stamps on my passport is longer than a lecture. Head shit from God and some explainable etc. Is what the fuck you gon' need if you tryna catch up. Nigga, I'm a big dog, running hot, big leaks, big fog, Greek. Guaranteeing that you leaving in a stretcher.
Nigga pipe down, I don't fight hoes, I don't bust down, I don't like those, I like big wheels, you ain't got those. It's a fucking movie with big roles, I'll show you how to stunt, show you how to stunt, show you how to stunt, show you niggas how to stunt. On the left side, I'll show you how to stunt, on the right side, I'll show you how to stunt.
Man, dude, come on. Are we gonna get our jazz now?
Show you how to stunt. Yo, at the TY, come on, motherfucking creator. Me and Flacco Joe, they been getting green by the acre. Sleeve by Cartier, texture is alligator. Wipe your feet on that doormat before you speak. How you tell us that you real, but you stay off the meds? How you got no house keys, but you show off the tick? How you call that girl a hoe, but got 10 baby mamas? How you claim you're free thinking, but be preaching the Bible? Cause all your pussy ass niggas think you're so damn hard. Cause you got a big blower, nigga, you ain't God. Got the same old watch, y'all fuck the same old bitches. Y'all buy the same old car, y'all take the same old pictures. Make the same old threats, tell the same old business. See all the gay ones y'all doing to impress those niggas, but I'ma mind my business. Like it's supposed to getting tossed, y'all can keep your fingers crossed. Call me when you get lost, bitch.
Call me if you get lost. By now we've shown you the way.
Okay, so I said an attitude change was coming. I was just expecting it just to be jazz. Dude, come on, where the hell has this been? What else do you have lurking on your freaking hard drives over there, dude? Seriously. Come on. Can we get more of this stuff? I mean, I just need a little, man. Just a little. I can quit. I can quit anytime. I'm totally in control. I just want a little more. Just like maybe like another 3-minute track. Dude, come on. Is everything that you make super vibey or what? It's really fun. It's really fun. Where'd you get the vocals from? They're pretty clean. Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, the mix is rough, but dude, the vibe is real. Like, come on. Oh, Nate. Appreciate you, homie. How you been, by the way? The creator and Vince Staples, right? Yeah, I heard Tyler pretty clearly in there. I was just wondering where you got him. It sounded pretty good in there. Quicksand. Dude, Samsung, seriously, come on, man. Now we're all off the rails over here. Some anime soundtrack action here. Quicksand. It's called Dark Soul 1. Wow, for some reason the volume was all the way down on this audio player. I was wondering what the hell was going on there. We're starting again. This is already so much better. Yo, Quicksand, this is pretty great. Making me feel things over here. Put some overdrive on the drums. Multi-band compression is going to be the savior of this track. It's good to break things up in bands and treat them a little bit differently. And that will help you dial in the wall of guitar as well. Those choral chants can come up a good 4 dB. Wall of guitar can be focused a bit more, a little less stereo spread, so give it a more specific location in the mix rather than this overall just kind of I'm standing over everything. And also carve out a little bit more of the low frequencies for better balance. The guitar tone is solid. I'd bring the other elements up to the same standard with more definition, separation, and presence. So saturation. Saturation is going to be a big helper here. Something like overdrive is going to be really ideal because you're not going to want to add any additional grit, right, to this whole thing. You just want to make things stand a bit more upright and have more definition and presence. Separation is going to come some from the definition and presence and some from greater change over time with volume automation. And even at times a little bit of EQ automation if you're having a hard time getting those guitars to work well with one another in different moments. But yeah, don't be afraid to separate those guys in the stereo field a little bit more. And the big guitars, you know, they can be brought up and down in volume just like everything else in the mix. So the more consistent you are with that volume level, the less impact those guitars actually have over time, right? Break that up in regards to different sections of the song. They're sitting in different priority positions in the mix, and then you're going to feel a lot more from them when they do surge. So, and just a little aside, big guitars are tough to mix, so solid work so far. It's good stuff. Yeah, overdrive is good for the drums, and overdrive is good for everything, actually. I'm not sure what DAW you're working in, but get yourself as simple an overdrive as possible, one that allows you to target a specific frequency. Really, really, really good for color mixing, by the way, just targeting stuff with saturation. You may not need to add any drive. If you do, it's going to vary from the different instrument to instrument, but the drums specifically could use a little bit. It could use like maybe 3.5 dB. You might have to adjust loudness accordingly, but make sure you target a high frequency so you're actually generating harmonics all the way up for you. All right, I think that's it. I think that's what I got for you. Let's see who's up next. Ruben. Ruben. Let's see what this one's all about.
Talk to me like I'm a stranger. Another blank stare on your face. I hope you remember tomorrow the things we talked about today. Your hands got cold as Colorado. I got stoned and watched the rain. Said I wouldn't think about you. Put your picture in a frame. The stars look a little brighter. The sun feels a little warmer. Your voice inside my head just got a little stronger. And I wish we had a little longer. Ain't getting any younger. be holding on to your hand till you lie. I'll be standing right here to say goodbye. I never thought that I could feel this way. So burn that candle to the end. And I said that I wouldn't think about you, 'cause I think about you every single day. The stars look a little brighter, sun feels a little warmer. Your voice inside my head has got a little stronger. And I wish we had a little longer, ain't getting any younger. So burn that candle to the end. The stars look a little brighter, sun feels a little warmer. Your voice inside my head just got a little stronger. Oh, I wish we had a little longer, ain't getting any younger. So burn that candle till the end.
All right, cool. Room, this is great. It's a really, really good song. And it's a great mix so far. I think the only thing that's off is the reverb. And I can hear that you've got a few different reverbs. And you're playing around with the wet dry balance, which is really cool to bring in, this atmospheric appeal in different spots, and it's awesome. But the biggest reverb on the guitar in the beginning, it's an awkward leap in sizes from the rest of the mix to that one. It's a little bit big, and all of these frequencies are being allowed through it. And I would really recommend that you wrangle those frequencies. Your big reverb choice might actually feel really good after you wrangle in those frequencies. We really don't know until you actually audition it with a little bit more control. So that's one thing, is just like the size of that one reverb. And then also it sounds like you're playing with some hall reverbs, right? So those kind of have one point, and then they kind of go on infinitely, right? It's like a ray in geometry, right? And what we should maybe find for this thing is a box, a room, right? Whether it's an octagonal room or a square room or a big room or a small room is completely up to you. But I think that having some kind of reflection back, rather than just this endless reverberation, might feel good in this. And then in regards to mixed reverbs, there's a few things that we need to be aware of to actually pull that off and make it work. One is pre-delay times. If the first earliest reflections of a sound back to us doesn't add up naturally, we're going to call phooey on it in our minds. We can't help it. It's really just it's like a survival skill thing. And so it causes some dissonance there. So one is the timing of reflections, and then two is when you have different spaces juxtaposed in the same audio coming into your system. Again, your brain will kind of call buoy on it pretty quickly, and it not always. You can play with the size and the decay times in a way in which it all feels very balanced, right? The same way that you can make a 3/4 and a 4/4 work, right? Because it's all math. And when it comes right down to it, at the end of the day, our brain is just processing a whole bunch of stuff through math, right? It's really just correlation and combination of frequencies, and we just need to make sure that the rate at which they are reaching our processors, that they work, that they're aligned. So I personally, I would audition a couple of different reverbs on this thing, but before you do that, wrangle in the frequencies on the EQ. So each time you set up a new reverb channel and you start sending sounds to it, put an EQ right after that reverb right away. And if you have an internal filter function on the reverb plugin itself, use that as well. The more control you can get over what frequencies are being allowed through, the better. Acrylic is here. Wow, 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 wow. Hope you're doing well over there, homie. And Danny is here. And Nate is taking off. Yeah, this is a good track. Yeah, it's good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. How you doing, Danny? Inba Music, it's 9 p.m. where you are. It is 12:22 p.m. here. Hey, 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 woke up on the stream. That's nice. Nice. Danny, that's so good to hear. You got the studio? Mac Studio? Love it, love it, love it. Transferring files over right now. Oh man, that little wiggly anticipation feeling that you have when you've got a new state-of-the-art machine and you're actively installing stuff and moving files and just eagerly awaiting getting in there. Some good stuff. Some good stuff. Inbu, this is you. Undead V2. Yeah, this is good. Sub down a good 6 dB or so and roll the cutoff up to 50 hertz, 12 dB per octave curve. You don't need anything under that in a track like this. You might even need to take it down a little bit more after that because it's going to jump up in perceived loudness as soon as you make that cut. Kind of wanting a little more change over time in regards to volume. So volume automation to get things moving in the track. Other than that, I really wouldn't change much in this thing. I think that it's pretty unique. Obviously very your sound. Just wrangle in the sub. Get a little motion in there and I think you're good. I think you're pretty solid. Andremia says pull up the ARP's low end to make it shine more. Oh, I was going to mention the appeal of the ARP feels like there's some low frequencies in the reverb that are coming through that just don't need to be. So bring that down. And it sounds like that might actually be applied in series rather than parallel, which is fine. But if it is, use the internal filter on the reverb to wrangle in the frequencies. It's an easy fix. And yeah, Andromia says sub is making everything quieter right now, and this is true. If you've got a compressor of any kind running on the entire mix at the end of your chain, the problem with having the sub frequencies up so high is that it triggers the compression with frequencies that aren't actually audible in the mix. So it's confusing to our ears why things sound muffled or quelled or you know, unexpectedly muffled at times. And it's really just the plugin's reaction to signal strength, because it has no idea what's coming through it. It doesn't hear anything, right? It just measures signal strength. So get those lowest frequencies wrangled and make sure that they're not the highest thing. Yeah, just take them straight out of the compression chain, honestly. And that's going to be the biggest helper for you. Danny, aka I Am Imaginate, in the chat. Everybody follow I Am Imaginate. He's always making moves. He's just got something being shared in the chat right now. He's got several different elemental sound packs out through Black Octopus, and one of them is charting right now. Check it out. Also, he posted in the Discord yesterday that if you are subscribed to Wave's subscription plan currently, there is a gift waiting for you in your inbox from Black Octopus and him. All right, so Nate, who I think just walked out the door, but we're going to do this so he can watch the VOD. Nate says, reworked the old mix master and it's sounding better, but I'm still sitting on possibly scooping the guitars more, but want to keep that punk grit. Also, want to make sure the square waves have room to sit. This one's called Self-Discovery. Yo, Nate, this is good. I think the square wave synth is sitting a bit awkwardly. Either I make a decision, either bring it up or bring it down in the mix. The other thing is, I might want to actually pan it to the opposite side or something, because it's sitting right on top of this other sound. They're very similar. A little bit of separation might help in that. The mix is bright overall. It feels a little bit tilted up. Reverb is pushed. I feel like the reverb is a little too present, and it also feels as though there's maybe less frequency restriction than there should be, so maybe tighter EQ on the reverb, but the level of it is a bit high. The guitar can come down about 5 dB, so pretty solid. Really, really great arrangement, and the palette is spot on. I think you've got all the right sounds in all the right places. Trem says a lot of reverb going on, and Dremia says high end, a bit sharp. Trem also says love the horns. Yeah, Ben, Nat has worked so hard on this. He always works so hard on everything he does. This man does not undercommit. Trem says maybe a little more call and response kind of thing with the horns, which is, yeah, good. Good stuff, man. Hope the feedback makes sense. Helps make it even better. 1, 2, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, good. Eucla, let's do this. Happy Friday to you. Welcome in. This one's called Not Here.
Find me in the future.
All right. This was loud. We got to bring down the LUFS first and foremost. So bring down the limiting. Do not push anything to this kind of loudness. And now, after you've taken down the loudness, the LUFS, the lead is too dominant. I would rework the volume mix, like the bass point volume mix, and then make a bunch of changes through volume automation while you're actively listening to it, and just be really honest with yourself. When this lead comes in, shouldn't the other things come down a little bit? And then when the lead is done soloing, shouldn't it come down a little bit? And maybe something else should have a chance to shine, right? So think about these things as members of a band sharing the same stage in the same space and needing to be okay with each other at the end of a track or at the end of a show, right? So each of the sounds should be a bit more kind of cooperative and considerate of the others. The other is saturation control. It sounds like the distortion is being applied pretty heavily to a whole bunch of things. Now, in some music this will work, and in some music it just simply won't. And when you have a lot of things rapidly articulating and there's a lot of saturation across the board, what it does is it creates a layer of noise. And it's not a comfortable noise because it's highly saturated, highly harmonic noise. So it's tickling too many pain points at the same time. So it's no longer comfortable for most people to listen to. And even those that aren't too uncomfortable, it's uneasy for them to listen to it. So definitely back off the saturation. Pick and choose one or two elements in the entire mix that can get that level of distortion. Pick a different kind of saturation for everything else and use that for like warmth and definition and depth. And then all of those things will kind of culminate in a much bigger sound. Watch the keys of the different elements. There definitely seems to be a little bit of pitch discrepancy here in some spots. Bring the sub down 8 to 10 dB across the board and roll the low end up to 50 hertz. Yo, heaven is empty. Thank you so much. Respect the gazelle, by the way. Appreciate you. Anybody that is currently subbed to the Twitch stream does get a whole boatload of sounds. Just make sure that your Discord and your Twitch profiles are connected, and you will be granted access to subscriber rewards. And the last couple posts on that channel are still available for you to grab. It's a lot of stuff. Respect the gazelle, or Ben will ban you. It's true. Cats and boots and boots and cats and cats and boots and boots and cats. Euclid, I hope this all made sense to you. And I hope that it helps you make it even better the next time around. Acrylic. Let's do this. How many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, I'm so stoked that we've got these people in this mix right now. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this queue. I'm going to give everybody 10 more seconds to post something to the Discord before I actually close the queue. That's what I like to see. Drum ties, posting something. Oh. All right. I know, how generous, 10 more seconds, right? I jest, of course. All right, kitty cats, I'm going to go ahead and close this queue, and we are going to get back to the action here. Acrylic. Wah, 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 wah. Let's listen to what you made. Some people would just pause it. We are all Tiger King. Oh, man. Wah, 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 wah. All right. Silly rabbit. Bass is for kids. Let's do this. This one's called Void Jumpin'.
Broke guy living a lie, you're not lie, you're not lie, you're not lie, you're not lie.
wow. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Is it too much to ask for just a really subtle suck back at the very end there? Man, this is really tasty, acrylic. Really tasty. I feel like we're missing some folks today that would have said a whole bunch of things about this track. Know what I mean? Ben says, feel like that clap is like 1 dB too high, maybe even a half. It's slightly too pokey. Acrylic says, man, you complain about 1 dB. We're talking about practice? Come on. Talk about practice? Yeah, of course he's talking about 1 dB. Man, you know, the difference between fire and a work of art that people will talk about for decades is sometimes 1 dB difference. Like, saying. It's really good. It's really good. It's really good. I don't really want you to change much. Maybe a slightly shorter decay on that sub as it's hitting. I wish there was just a little bit of time between the first hit fully resolving and the new hit dropping. The goat has spoken. Yeah. Ben feels attacked. Oh, that's great. That's great. I'm gonna pull out the fine grit sandpaper for that. We're gonna take off less than 1/4 dB off of this sound. Just kind of get in there, soften up the edges a little bit. Seriously though, my trick for stuff like that, and I know this is gonna sound a little backwards at first, but my trick for that is oftentimes saturation. I know it sounds backwards, right? But just borrowing the circuitry and targeting a frequency that's like just below the top peaks in that thing, and then back this off by like 0.5 dB and move on. And you get something that like really finds its pocket. Chill down, Jamal. Come on, man. All right, hide your shit. Drum task coming. Is Friday so old now that we can't really quote it and get like solid laughs from folks anymore? Have we kind of reached that point with Friday, or is it still steps away from the energy bar? Remove your compression and distort your shit instead. Yeah, acrylic, you know, it's a really awesome sound, and you have, I think, probably just like the innate awareness of positive and negative space and the kind of balance that's required for stuff to fully resonate with people in space. I think that that's just kind of a gift. I can kind of hear it in your mixing, but I think it would be, man, right up your alley. Go down that rabbit hole. All right, Trem says, I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. It's been chilling on here for months now, and I'm not sure what to do with it. This one's called Flip. Yeah, I know exactly what you do with this. You chop up another, say, 40 of these, and you release them on an album with like half a second between each track. Man. At least 40. right? Yeah, you know, like an eclectic Zappa blitz, if you will. Seriously, I think that an album of just pure madness like that would be great. What do you do with this? What do you do with this? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just call it like, you just call the entire thing like the Madness Interludes or Chaos Theory or something, right? And people gobble that up. I like this. I really like this. I just want to hear more of these weird eclectic little mashups and see what they sound like in a string out. You know what I mean? I would be very into it. Call it Fishing with Grandpa. That's awesome. That's a perfect album name. Now you have to do it. You have to do it, and you have to call it Fishing with Grandpa, or I'm going to turn the bus around and go home. Dude, seriously? Can you bring like another dozen of those and see what it feels like just to listen to them all like in succession? That'd be amazing. And then take the compressor off your shit and just saturate it, and I'll clip it later. And Remy is getting all serious now. He takes out the clipboard. He's like, no, seriously, I'm sorry, but I require this album or Chris is turning the bus around. We've come too far for that. That's what happens when you step onto the magic school bus and like head out into space, and someone wants to turn around halfway out there. Man. Who is this? Jax? J X C K W S. Jackwas. Jaxwas. All right, saying this is a verse with Ian Doerr's new song. He released an open verse on his TikTok. Let me know how I did. Please give me feedback on the mix and quality of the verse. Okay, let's go do that then. Jack WS, got it. I was looking at it like, this looks like I should be saying Jack. That's really all I knew. How you doing, Jack? We are waiting for this thing to load right now. Kick it. See if it doesn't. Thinking, contemplating. Yeah, there it is. All right, here we go.
Even have a broken heart. No, you don't even have a broken heart.
Lost in the darkness, belly still breathing. Trying to run away, but I'm stuck in my feelings. You're still leaving me, we even have a meaning. Used to be the one, but you're so misleading. I'm waiting on you just to get my hopes up. Say you're gonna leave, I can make this up. Tell me what to do, I don't wanna stop. I can't keep going on without your love.
I ain't never been hurt before, till my world crashed down to the sound of a slamming door. I ain't never felt pain for real, till the worst came out that you don't feel what I feel. I miss you more than a little, but it's not the hardest part. It's you don't even have a broken heart. No, you don't even have a broken heart.
I'm going to go back to the solo vocal here for just a moment.
Just to get my hopes up. Say you're gonna leave, I can make this up. Tell me what to do, I don't wanna stop. I can't keep going on without your love.
I ain't never been hurt before, till my world crashed down to the sound of a slamming door. I ain't never felt pain for real, till the worst came out that you don't.
You're still leaving me, we even up.
All right, when it's solo vocal, it needs to come up and sit on top of the mix more. Also, the backing vocal in this breakdown area right over here around 24 seconds is dominant, and it's got some resonance in it. The ensemble vocal mix, however, is spot on. It's pretty good. You've got the, you got that kind of anthemic, kind of summer vibe thing happening here. It's good. Good. In regards to the other stuff, sub's a little high. Yeah, I felt like the instrumental mix was a very secondary kind of concern to this.
Lost in the dark away, but I'm stuck in my feelings. You're still leaving me, we even have a meaning. Used to be the one, but you're so.
Like this guitar, for instance, right? It doesn't feel like it's being allowed to be fully present.
So misleading. I'm waiting on you just to get my hopes up. Say you're gonna leave, I can make this up. Tell me what to do, I don't wanna stop. I can't.
And honestly, I feel like even with that bass, you could move that away from center just a little bit, because it's up an octave from where a lot of basses would be. You've got that sub in there anyway. I'd move that a little off to the side and get a little bit more separation in the instrumental mix, and then bring that stuff up a bit as you pan it further out. Bring it up just a little bit. It's going to feel a little less crowded in the middle, and you'll hear the individual voices of the instruments a bit more. Jack is saying, didn't do anything with the beat, just did the verse. Good, good. Yeah, I thought it was good vocal mixing. Dremia says, reminds me of like a Boys to Men or BBD. Yeah. People are liking this. I see this comment from Nate. Yeah, it is. It's in reference to something here in the queue, and it says, where is it? It's a little 15-second ditty. Deadmau 5, a song about squirrels. Why? What are we about to do here? That's good stuff, Jack. Wait, what are you saying? What are you saying? It's not this one? Oh, I see. Okay, hold on a second. We got two things from Ben here. We have to watch this 15-second thing here. Oh no. Oh no. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna go full screen for this. Oh my gosh. Wow. Deadmau. Wow. That's so risque. All right, back to his regular mixing endeavors here. Dude, this was harsh and aggressive and, dare I say, brash, young man. Brash. And brassy at the same time. It was a bit of like, y'all ever hang out with Transformers? Sometimes when you hang out with them, like, you go out drinking, they cannot keep it together. And then they just start puking in the street, like out in the alley behind the club. This is what it kind of reminded me of. Like too much Jaeger, you know? It also felt like there was some sort of like perhaps like a schizophrenic moment happening inside of a robot, or they were struggling. Seriously though, tighter EQ. Watch resonance at highs. Brash, young man. Whoa. Trem says, I kind of want to hear this, but record it with an 8-string guitar and run it through the same effects chain. Can we hear that? Can we do that? Let's see what that sounds like. All right, this one is Heaven's Empty. Out of My League. This is some dope art right here. It's wild. All right, let's see what this is all about.
Last night was just beginning to feel like I was winning. How many doors did you lock? I'm writing from a postcard. These inner thoughts keep spinning. The million miles away. I kept it to myself. How lost I felt till fate brought me to you. Staring at me, don't know how long till death grows envy. A luminescent dream ever since I found you. The sun won't shine when the sun won't shine if I'm not right there next to you. The sun won't shine when the sun won't shine if I'm not right there next to you. We found this glow, eternal sun ray. You turn my insides out just by the things you do.
Heaven's Empty, this is great. Don't change anything, just release it. It's a fantastic mix. It is ready to go. There are no problems with this. Put it out. It needs a music video with a girl that's way out of your league. Always like looking back over her shoulder at you. Tossing the hair. Andremia. Double Andremia feature. This is amazing. Did some touch up after last week's feedback. Skip if others are after me. I'd appreciate a listen if you got the time after everyone. And we do, so let's do this. Oh, you guys are freaking cracking me up. Andremia, this is awesome. The highs in that first intro bit, they're right on the edge of needing to be tamed, a little prickly in those higher frequencies. 131, I still feel like the delivery of that synth is a bit abrupt. Might want to like extend the attack on that just a little bit. Or maybe take a look at the starting point, where it's starting in the oscillation cycle of the LFO or the wavetable. Thickness around 150 or so in general, and that was at around like the 2-minute mark or so when I wrote that. I think in general, this thing is pretty good to go. I think it's time for multiband compression, so you can tease out some more depth, greater separation between the bands. And I think at 529, you can hear this wonderful clarity here. It just feels like we've been released from something. So I just want to go back here really quick and just listen to this transition. It's the effect of this bass. You feel that difference? So this bass and pad, I think there's a couple of things happening. I think that the wub 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 wub, it might have a little bit too much reach into the sides with its lowest frequencies, because there's this feeling of almost relief when at like 510 or so it drops out and we've just got the pluck and the atmosphere. So I think it's probably just a little bit taxing, a little bit fatiguing to have that many low frequencies on the sides and kind of moving around and swirling around. If you think about my analogy about the lowest frequencies being the biggest guy at the party, and right, he gets drunk and he starts bouncing around things. When you start moving those low frequencies around in the stereo field, that's pretty much what's happening. It's the guy getting a little drunk. He's just starting to wobble and like bump into all sorts of stuff, right? So, and sometimes that translates as something that's kind of hard to put your finger on, but you can feel it kind of moving through the mix. So when that's happening, it's usually just a matter of shaving off those lowest frequencies on the sides. Yeah, exactly. Too much low end on the bass, but also watch where you're putting it. Watch where you're putting it. Word. That's some good stuff today, you guys. Some good stuff. We went places. Boogie Dread, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you. And happy Friday. We're going to go see who is streaming right now and take you all over there. And while I'm checking on all of that, this is when I usually say stuff like, I appreciate you guys. And come back on Monday. And I'll be working on something. Working on a whole bunch of production of something, because I got a lot of stuff in the queue right now that I need to make. So I'll appreciate you guys hanging out with me. In the meantime, let's take you guys on over to the Funky Spud and give you guys some brass today. Happy Friday. And I challenge you to make something even better next week. Appreciate y'all. See you on the flip. Peace out.